So accounting firm owners have been asking, in a previous video, I mentioned the three reasons why 60% of their staff will fail to adapt to AI. And I talked about temperament, conditioning, and skill set. So the thing about temperament, the process that I follow is called the Enneagram. And the difference with this temperament identification tool or personality profiling, call it what you like, is that it's dealing with the ego or the central dialogue, if you like. And where this differs from other profiling is we're not interested in how people complete tasks or how they work with a team in this part. What we're interested in is how do they internally process severe loss or conflict or threat? What is the nature of their sort of coping mechanism? And what's the internal dialogue that they run? Now, I've lost track of the number of firms and number of people that I've profiled, but I can tell you a big chunk, around about 60%, funnily enough, of the people that I've profiled are what we would call a type 6 under the Enneagram or a loyalist. So they're head-centered, often very good work ethic. They're the type of people that will often not only be good at their own job, but they'll have a pretty good understanding of who else is doing what in work. We know in order to get the best out of these people, if you make a system that's too rigid, you'll actually dumb them down. They're actually very good at identifying improvements within a process. They tend to be quite sequential. One of their major drawbacks is around their own self-development and progression. So they'll often take themselves out of the game. So I've literally had people that are, women, because often in the firm they are women, that have been in the accounting industry for more than 10 years that'll then tell me, well, I'm not qualified to do X, or I haven't got enough experience. And I'm like, wait, what? You're fully qualified. You've been here 10 years. Why can't you do this? Whereas you get other typologies that within a couple of years, they are getting angry. Like, why don't I run the firm? I'm in charge. I should be making the decisions here. So this type 6, this loyalist mentality, a big part about what happens to them is the coping styles, if you like, are intensity, competency, and positive outlook. So positive outlook, as the name suggests, tend to be an avoidance of an issue, an oversimplification on where the benefits or the upside. Tali Shiro wrote a book called The Optimism Bias. And so this is an area where other typologies are much more about the positive outlook, and it's kind of a form of just avoidance. There are a certain type, normally a much smaller number that go into accounting that are competency based. So they tend to be achievers, they're driven, they're very pragmatic, they tend to push themselves. And these are the ones that are going to adapt to AI because they will make themselves adapt. But there's another group, a big chunk, these loyalists, and their functioning or coping style is that of intensity. So what happens is they need to feel that everybody around them feels what's going on. So these are the type of people that they're prone to outburst or they're highly suppressing, particularly in a professional environment where role identification takes over. But what happens is their fear envelops them. And because of that, it's literally like they become paralyzed by the fear. And what they're looking for is a sensory perception, and they're looking for the sense that others share in it. So they're often the ones that will pull down others that are trying to make move because of their own fear. And so what you'll see is a big chunk of the people that are in the office will struggle to actually deal with the emotional response to it, and they'll become enveloped by it. Luckily, they'll have enough other people like them that will feel the same way, and they'll probably get around the water cooler and they'll probably decide amongst themselves that if we all do nothing, somehow we'll be better off. They literally will put their heads in the sand. And despite all of your best efforts to try and help these people, they will still do nothing.